Last October 14 and 15, Ford Philippines invited members of the motoring media for a camping experience up Mount Balagbag in Rodriguez in Rizal Province. Sounds fun, doesn't it? But the real challenge was how to go up there on 12 kilometers of almost non-existent roads. To do that, Ford unleashed its two most powerful 4x4 workhorses, the 3.2-liter Ranger Wildtrak pickup and the 3.2-liter Everest Titanium. If you're not so squeamish about getting down and dirty and you're not afraid of heights, then stick with us for an off-road adventure you won't soon forget.
It was a pleasant Friday morning on October 14, the day before a payday weekend. But for this group that converged at Ford Libis in Quezon City early that day, the ATM machine was the last thing on their minds. They were looking forward to 2 days out of the streets and onto mountain paths even Google Maps would have a hard time locating. Ford Philippines gathered some 15 motoring journalists and challenged them to an off-roading adventure not very far from the maddening concrete jungle, but completely different from the city driving that they were used to. The ride for the next 2 days were the new 4x4 beauties, the 3.2-liter Ranger Wildtrak pickup, and the 3.2-liter Everest Titanium SUV. Before takeoff, the group was given a last-minute pep talk by none other than Ford Philippines Managing Director Lance Mosley.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very glad to be here with you today. I want to first of all thank and congratulate the hosts, our hosts for Libis with their 15th year anniversary. Timed this perfectly to be here in the morning to congratulate them. But I am looking forward to this. We've been planning this for months, and it's always difficult to get the timing done. But I'm very excited about going up this hill and making it to the top, and hopefully having some great stories to tell afterwards. So look forward to spending time with all of you today.
The mid-morning drive to the jump-off point at Rodriguez in Rizal Province took just a little more than an hour, and the group noticed that the roads just got narrower and rougher, until there seemed to be no roads at all. But this is where the Ranger Wildtrak and Everest Titanium's off-roading engineering and design expertise kicked in. As soon as the vehicles felt the rough roads roll in, a little adjustment to the innovative terrain management system, then a switch to either 4-high or 4-low, and the two 4x4 beasts felt just at home. No less than seasoned off-roader and this track's trail master B-Boy Vargas explained to the group how Ford's vaunted terrain management system works.
The Everest uses an all-wheel drive system that automatically engages its center differential lock to engage the front axle and synchronize the front and the rear to spin at the same time. However, it has a new purpose-built technology called terrain management system that all you have to do is flick. It is your regular mode, no? Let's say you see this icon, you're looking at grass, mud, and snow. So basically, it's a slippery, very, very slippery surface. Here you have desert. That's sand. Over here, you have rocks. No? Now, all these systems operate at 4-high. For those who are familiar with the system, that's when the gearing is standard. Now, you might be asking why, when most of the time we want to be in low range when we're off-road. The vehicle has enough torque, enormous reserves of torque, to push through the barriers created by mud and sand. And it also has a automatic traction control system that will let the tires do the biting. No? But more importantly, if the terrain gets much harder, when you get to rock mode, you shift to 4x4 low. On the instrument cluster, it will say engage 4x4 low. And then you engage the rear differential lock.
The off-road trek up Mount Balagbag from the jump-off point took all of 4 hours, and it seemed that as time went on, the off-roading just got tougher. But with the help of the off-roading experts and instructors who were with the motoring media members who drove during the entire trip, and then with some 2- and 3-wheelers showing how it was done, the most difficult stretches were overcome. It was nearly sundown when the group finally reached the campsite, around 680 meters above sea level. The winds were cool, but the reception the group received was warm, and even the setting sun peered out for a welcome, despite weather forecasts of overcast skies and thunderstorms caused by an incoming typhoon.
Hi everyone and welcome to our Ford fans. We're here right now from the summit of Mount Balagbag, which is actually 600 meters above sea level. And we've actually brought our media friends over using the Ranger Wildtrak and the Everest Titanium just to see how far it can actually go as far as climbing and off-roading is concerned. So as you can see, we have a very majestic view at my back, and then we have camping tents set all over here. We are looking forward to an exciting evening, and tomorrow we go down back to Manila and again use the Ranger and the Everest.
We brought you here because we wanted you to have a first-class experience of the capabilities of the Ford Ranger and the Ford Everest. These are units that we took right off the boat, really have just come in. They're brand new units equipped with the factory standards, and we've given them under some of the most difficult, grueling off-road conditions, so you guys too can experience the capabilities of the vehicle and just see what fantastic performing, capable vehicles they are. I was amazed, right? I work with these vehicles day in, day out, but I don't often get to come experience their capabilities like we do today. And it was fantastic. It was just amazing to see, to really put the vehicle under a lot of strain and just to see how well it performed. Well, I drove the brand new Ranger Wildtrak 3.2 liter, and I wanted to drive it in a manual transmission. And the torque on the Ranger with the rear differential set and in 4-wheel low, you actually took your feet off the pedals. So you didn't have to have your foot on the clutch or the gas, and the car just went by itself because of the fantastic torque that we have in that vehicle. Put it in second gear and it climbed the mountain by itself. It was amazing. It's just, I think people need to experience it for themselves and just see the capabilities of the vehicle.
Half of the work was already done, and for tonight, the group enjoyed the fellowship around the bonfire, while the nighttime weather proved to be friendly. Ida Panganiban of Wheels Magazine and Auto Car even celebrated his birthday here, so he literally felt on top of the world. The next day, the group woke up breakfast, pack up, boarding time refreshed, and ready to go back down where they came from. While the group HDC display is turned on and the touchscreen monitor is being enjoyed the morning sun and a hearty breakfast, the Ford Ranger Wildtrak and Everest Titanium were ready and waiting. And when the group boarded their designated vehicles, the drivers were instructed to employ the hill descent control feature. Since the group expected to take it easier on the way down, it was also the chance to try the Sync 3, the latest generation of Ford's in-car connectivity system. Though the route down was relatively easier, the group took their time to savor the view and even give way to weekend warriors, mountain bikers who were on their way up to the summit. By the time the group reached the foot of the mountain, safe and sound, Ford called it just another tough day at the office. An office with no boundaries, with people brave enough to drive the most reliable 4x4s into parts unknown.
In the olden days of off-roading, driving a 4x4 vehicle was much like operating a construction crane or a bulldozer. There were so many manual levers and complicated processes to occupy your mind. Plus, the ride comfort was the last to be added to the design, leaving the driver and passengers none the worse for wear. Today, the 4x4 experience has become much more refined and technologically driven as far as the drive systems and ride comfort are concerned. Ford Philippines, via its flagship 4x4 vehicles, the Ranger and Everest, is at the cutting edge of this fast-rising sub-segment of the motoring industry. It's not just about showing everyone who's built tough, but also who emerges in style.